Well, hello there, and welcome to the Ladies of College Football with there's one lady here, moi, Minnie Hunt, and my fill-in for the night is Adam Lamparello.
Happy to be here, Minnie, and talk some college football, especially after the games yesterday.
Yes, and you're filling in for my good friend Doreen. She's taking just a couple weeks off to be with her family around the Christmas holiday, so can't wait for her to be back, but I'm so glad that you agreed to be on the show with me, Adam, because I've had you on other shows as a guest before, and you have such a great take on college football as a whole because of your background in law.
Yeah, and I think yesterday, this weekend generally was a perfect example of what's wrong with college football. Namely, there is no reason that Tulane or JMU should have ever been in the playoff. Now, I know it's not their fault, but the rules allowing that made no sense whatsoever because essentially what we got was two games that were not competitive at all. And we got the top 10 teams in the playoff, not the top 12. Okay. Notre Dame, Texas, and/or Vanderbilt should have been in. They were better than Tulane and JMU. And these rules have to be changed. Now, there's some people who claim that they have to be in there because of antitrust law. As a lawyer, I will tell you that is absolute nonsense. Antitrust law only requires that there be a competitive market, a competitive playing field. By saying that the top 12 teams get in the playoff, that's not prohibiting JMU and Tulane from competing to be among the top 12. Okay. And antitrust law does not guarantee you a spot in the playoff. So we still have a competitive field, but what it will yield is actually the 12 best teams being in the playoff rather than the top 10 teams being in. And these two teams that should not be in, one losing, 42-10, the other one losing, I believe it was 51-34 when it really wasn't that close. It's utterly ridiculous. And if people think it's going to draw a lawsuit to simply say that we should have the top 12 teams in the playoff, I say sue me. We'll win in court and will lead to a better college football playoff. What we have now is not fair, it is not equitable, and it is not competitive.
No. The fair part maybe can be argued on based on the terms of what the college football playoff, their standards are right now. But is it my concern is the same as it was last year. Is it fun for the fan? Is it fun for the fan to watch? To me, it is like watching a high school football team play a junior high football team.
That's
It just
exactly.
it's not even it's almost not even the same sport. It's nobody's fault. I mean, JMU is a great team. Just they're not going to look good against a really good Oregon team. I mean, we
Right.
were just talking about the difference in NIL and the money that these schools have to work with.
If we talk about fairness, fairness means equal opportunity. It doesn't mean equality of outcome. Is it fair to Notre Dame or Texas or Vanderbilt? Okay. Texas and Vanderbilt having to play an SEC schedule. Is it fair to them to be left out when JMU and Tulane play much less rigorous schedules and are demonstrably less talented? So I don't believe it's fair. And, there's no antitrust reason to require that they be in the playoff. The only thing antitrust requires is an opportunity to compete. They had an opportunity to compete all year and show that they're among the 12 best teams. They are not. And what we got was fans having to watch Tulane get slaughtered and JMU get slaughtered to the tune of Oregon averaging almost 10 yards per carry and being up 42-3 early in the third quarter. So this isn't good for college football, and I would submit it's not good for James Madison or Tulane to have their players have to play such lopsided competition with such disparity in talent. This is not what the playoff envisioned. The playoff was designed to cure the problem, not create more problems, and that's what it's doing.
Now that brings up a good point. What do I mean, I'm sure there are fans of JMU, and I know there are Tulane fans. What do they think?
You know what? Here's what I would say to their fans. I respect your programs. You have good football teams, but if you're being intellectually honest, you did not deserve to be in the college football playoffs. And I applaud the JMU fans for being as respectful as they were in Eugene. Reports are that they were wonderful to be around, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, Arch Manning in Texas, Notre Dame, maybe Vandy should have been in the playoff. This was not the result that the college football playoff was designed to effectuate. The 12 best teams play for the title. The rules have to be changed because competition doesn't mean guaranteeing an outcome, it means guaranteeing an opportunity.
So, okay, just I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I like to do that.
Excellent.
And I put the call in link in the chat, and I see we already have somebody waiting in the green room. And so, Adam Lemeris, I will add you in just a moment. But Adam Lamparello, that is such a great last name, by the way. I love your last name.
Thanks.
What do you say to the people who are like, well, there are blowouts that happen all the time with almost equal teams?
Sure, blowouts happen all the time for a variety of reasons, but blowouts in this context are so utterly predictable because the talent disparity is so obvious. So, unlike a blowout that might happen, say, when Florida played Nebraska for the national championship in 1995, when the teams probably had relatively similar rosters, it's so clear that there's a talent disparity between these teams such that a blowout is inevitable. And when you're talking about the context of the college football playoff, where the whole design is to put the 12 best teams in, there's no excuse for putting in teams that, if you look at the rankings before they were selected to the playoff, were they ranked in the top 12? No, they were not. They were ranked in the low 20s. So suddenly they jump over all these other teams with tougher schedules and better rosters. It makes no sense. And it's the height of bureaucratic incompetence. And the idea that these teams should be in because we're worried about an antitrust lawsuit does not make any sense, because antitrust law was never designed to ensure equality of outcome. It's designed to ensure free market competition. JMU and Tulane had the opportunity to compete all year and show that they were among the top 12. They didn't do that by the rankings own system. So to force them into the playoff led precisely to the blowout loss that was inevitable. In other cases, like, where there are blowouts, it's not inevitable, and that's the difference.
Yeah, yeah. Bussin' with the Boys had posted something on Instagram today that I saw. Dan Lanning's, his salary is $11 million, and I guess JMU's coach had like $1 million in NIL. So when you look at just even that, it just kind of screams, whoa. And you're going to put these two teams against each other in a playoff. What do you expect is going to happen?
Exactly. This NIL thing has been ridiculous. When Brett Kavanaugh wrote the Supreme Court's decision, NCAA versus Alston, saying players could profit from their name, image, and likeness, I don't think they envisioned or intended that universities would create these collectives whereby they could pay people like Arch Manning or Carson Beck $4 million a year, or Bryce Underwood, I don't know, $10 million a year. It gives them such a strategic advantage or a competitive advantage over everyone. So if your concern is antitrust law, your focus should not be on putting two teams that don't belong in the playoffs. It should be on the disparity caused by the generation of wealth by the top schools, whereby they can buy players that other schools can't. That has to absolutely be regulated, because if you don't, that is your antitrust violation right there. When A&M or Texas or Michigan or Ohio State can basically spend anything they want to get the best players, and James Madison can't. Yet somehow James Madison gets in the playoff when there's no reasonable chance they can be successful. It makes no sense. The NIL is the problem, and the playoff rules that allow the victims of these antitrust violations to be in the playoffs You got it all backwards. It should be the teams should not be allowed to get in, but if you want to have them have a reasonable chance to be competitive, to be among the top 12, they have to be able to compete financially for NIL, and the disparity we currently have is the problem.
Yeah, 136 college football teams. Everybody, of course, wants their team to do well. I just wonder, what does this do to like the average fan? Just like you, I know you're a fan of Rutgers. You know what? I'm going to add Adam. And before we get any further into the show, if you guys have any game that you want to talk about specifically for this weekend, let me know in chat. And also like anything else going on. I know we have the transfer portal that's going to be starting come January 2nd, and there's like, gosh, I want to say like 25 quarterbacks already saying that they're going to enter the transfer portal. So there's that too. But I'm going to add Adam.
Hey, it's Adam squared.
Yeah.
That's called. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Adam, how's it going?
I do want to wish you and Minnie and everyone in the chat a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will say this. To see, I know James Madison put up a bunch of yards against an Oregon team. That last night, and and there were fans that did travel from James Madison out to Oregon. I know I can say this because I know him. The voice of James Madison, Kurt Dudley, he went out there with the team to Eugene, and I think there was a story about one James Madison fan was on a train from Washington D.C. And he took a train all the way out to Eugene, Oregon, to see James Madison play. So that's pretty incredible. But it's like I want to talk about the game on Friday night between Alabama and Oklahoma.
That was a great game. I liked it.
I did too. And I will say this. It's hard to beat a team. Nice to see Pins. It's hard to see.
He goes by Pitt.
Yeah. It's nice to see Pitt in the chat. I always enjoy what he has to say. But, give credit to Alabama for going into Norman and beating them. Ty Simpson, was, he did the job that he had to do. And, Oklahoma, I think Alabama learned from their mistakes the first time around when they played Oklahoma. And now they have to go up against a really good Indiana team in the Rose Bowl. And I think I'll come out and say it now. I think Indiana finds a way to get the job done versus Alabama. I think that one quarterfinal matchup that I'm really looking forward to, Oregon versus Texas Tech. We know how good of an offense Oregon has, led by quarterback Dante Moore.
The Alabama-Oklahoma game.
Yes.
It seems like so long ago. And it was just
I know. It's like Friday night. I was like, it's crazy. I know. Yeah.
34-24. And boy, those Alabama fans were partying that night. They were.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy for them. That coming back with a 17-point deficit like they did, was incredible.
Yeah.
That's fun football.
Oh yeah. And also give credit to ESPN sideline reporter Laura Rutledge. It's called. She ran from the field to go up and cover the halftime show with her colleagues from the SEC Nation on ESPN pianist called. She had like 2 minutes, to go from the field up, up to where, the rest of her crew is. And, to do that is simply amazing and incredible. I mean, and also she is a mom like you are, Minnie. It's like, so it's not easy balancing a job,
I mean, that gives us superpowers. So
exactly. Yeah.
But
So it's like
John Mateer looked like he had come back from his thumb injury, I thought.
Yes.
They had him throw 41 times that night. That's a lot for an injured thumb.
Yeah. It's, and people can say, give credit to Kalen DeBoer, what he's doing down there in Tuscaloosa. It's hard, Tyrod. It's hard to replace a legend like Nick Saban. And Kalen DeBoer is trying his hardest. So give credit to him. He came from Washington. He came over from it's still weird to say Washington's in the Big Ten, but he came from the West Coast to the South, and, he's getting done in Tuscaloosa, so I want to talk about Oregon versus Texas Tech for a little bit. This is a matchup that I will be glued to because Oregon has a high-profile offense led by quarterback Dante Moore going up against a Texas Tech team that has Jacob Rodriguez in the top 10 in the Heisman Trophy. And can Oregon's offense go up against a high-profile defense? And Ole Miss versus Georgia, ooh-wee. I'm looking forward to that one as well. But the other matchup I'm looking forward to, Minnie and Adam, Ohio State versus Miami in the Cotton Bowl. We all remember the classic Fiesta Bowl, that happened a few years ago. I think Ohio State fans remember. I think Miami fans remember. And I don't know if you two know this, but the last time that the Miami Hurricanes were in the Cotton Bowl was 1991 versus Texas. And Miami had a lot of penalty yards. And Miami's head coach was the legend Dennis Erickson. So it's been a while for Miami. I see that the ACC is still in the college football playoff after what happened last year with Clemson and SMU. So, yeah, I know the smack talk is already.
Thank you so much, Adam, for all of that commentary.
You're welcome. And like I said to you guys and everyone in the chat, you guys have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy all the college football playoff action, and I will be back with you, Minnie, and your partner in crime, Queen Doreen, next Sunday night.
Great.
So,
okay,
then, y'all take it easy.
Adam,
Good night, everybody.
Adam said a lot of things, and just to summarize,
what do you think about his things that he had to say?
Well, I'll start with Alabama, Oklahoma. If you look at the Alabama Oklahoma game in Tuscaloosa, Alabama turns it over 3 times. They consistently lose the field possession battle. But Ty Simpson throws for 326 yards. They win time of possession, and they nearly double Oklahoma in total yardage. So they lost the game, but it's more like losing the battle, but winning the war. When they went to Norman, they predictably won because they didn't turn it over. They did not lose the field position game in the second half. And what they did was they relied on Ty Simpson to be situationally effective, and he was, but the defense is what won it for Alabama. They switched from zone coverage to man coverage in the second half, and they put pressure on John Mateer, and he couldn't do anything. And this time it was flipped. Oklahoma turned it over, especially the pick six. So I think the better team won in Norman, and I think the result in Tuscaloosa was skewed because of the turnovers. Now, as far as Oregon and Texas Tech, Texas Tech has a great defense. Their offense is definitely competent. But Texas Tech did lose to Arizona State 26-22, and they beat Kansas State 43-20. Not a very good Kansas State team, allowing 20 points. I think Texas Tech is good, but Oregon is too explosive for them. Oregon will wear them down as the game goes on, and Oregon, in my opinion, is going to win that game along the lines of 35-23. Now, Miami and Ohio State, one thing we saw all year from Miami was they have a great defense, but at times their offense was, sputtered, especially against Louisville, and they lost in overtime to SMU. I do not believe Carson Beck and that Miami offense is going to be a match for that very, very tough Ohio State defense. And I think Julian Sayin gets the Buckeyes back on track with a trio of wide receivers that are the best in the country. Mm-hmm. Miami is not going to beat Ohio State. I don't think it's even going to be close.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Again, time will tell. Time will tell. But I feel like this is another one that Ohio State kind of lucked out on, because I don't think it's going to be near as difficult for them to beat Miami as it was. I mean, obviously, as it was for them going against Indiana.
Yeah, and you know what? There's something I really got to say about this college football playoff that's really contradictory. So some people have talked about how JMU and Tulane deserved to be in the playoff, deserved an opportunity. So I guess that comes from a position of wanting to ensure fairness. Well, how fair is it that Ohio State, which has one of the top NILs in the country, gets a bye, but JMU, which has practically no NIL, has to go to Eugene, Oregon, and play the Ducks in Outson Stadium? So it's like, oh, you think it's fair to include them, but then when you include them, you make the odds absolutely insurmountable such that the fairness argument collapses. It's ridiculous. It has to change.
Yeah, I think it does. I think that 1 year of this was plenty. 2 years, and we're like ready to strangle somebody.
Yes.
It can't continue like this. These, automatic like, I don't want that for this sport. I don't know if the criteria maybe needs to look different. The college football playoff committee, they start doing their top 25 like right after Thanksgiving, right? Or right before Thanksgiving.
Before.
And they do one every week after that. Well, maybe it just is one time.
I totally agree with you, because it's ridiculous that they had several weeks where they're ranking the teams, and in every week, Notre Dame is ahead of Miami. Then all of a sudden, Miami jumps Notre Dame for no reason. I'm not saying that Miami shouldn't have been ahead of Notre Dame. I'm saying that there's no reason why they should have jumped them when they did. Now, some might say we're going to solve this through a 16-team playoff. No, we're not going to solve it if we continue to have these automatic bids, okay? And what we should be doing is saying the rule is simple. The top 12 teams get in, as determined by the committee, as determined by the polls, whatever. There's still going to be controversy, but it's not going to be on the same level as it is now. Maybe some people would say Notre Dame and Texas got in, but Vandy should have been in. Okay, that's a reasonable argument, but you're not going to have teams get in that have no chance of winning.
Right. I just want to know, like, what was your day? What did you schedule your day like yesterday? And I want to know what everyone in chat also scheduled their day like. I scheduled my day to be watching college football games, throughout the day. And when there were blowouts, I'm like, I don't really need to watch this.
Yeah.
And I would quit about halfway through, or I remember I was watching Oregon versus James Madison, and I was just holding on until James Madison scored a touchdown in the third quarter. Finally, they scored. The game that I loved, though, was the Texas A&M Miami game. That looked like we could be there all day because
That, yeah.
it was a head-to-head battle.
I
Really
mean,
exciting to watch.
absolutely amazing. It reminded me of watching a game between the Yankees and the Red Sox that ends 1-0 on a walk-off home run in the ninth inning. I mean, it was a true defensive battle between two very good teams. Unfortunately, Marcel Reed didn't have it yesterday. Those two interceptions were critical. This was a game Texas A&M could have won, but give credit to that Miami defense. They were ferocious. So they could keep it close against Ohio State, although I don't necessarily think they'll win. But as far as what was the day like yesterday, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I got up, I exercised, and I said, I'm going to watch Miami and Texas A&M. And then I'm going to watch movies. And I watched The Firm with Tom Cruise from like 1992. And I watched The Rainmaker with Matt Damon and Danny DeVito and whoever else was in it. And then I watched a movie called The Wrestler, which was
I like that movie.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty good movies, but it's like this is the second day of the college football playoff, and I'm watching movies when there's a triple header. That says something about who they selected and how entertaining the games were. And unfortunately, they were not whatsoever.
And everybody says that the reason that the college football playoffs have gone to the 12-team playoffs is for money, right? How is this making more money if nobody even wants to watch the games?
I have no idea. I never believed that we should switch to a 12-team playoff. I thought, and I've thrown around ideas which some people think are crazy, but maybe an 8-team playoff, or maybe a best 2 out of 3 national championship game. So, for example, in 2002, when Miami lost to Ohio State in double overtime, imagine if that was a best 2 of 3 series and they had to play again and a team had to win twice. I mean, they do it in college baseball. They do it in professional sports. But instead, we have a 12-team playoff with JMU and Tulane in. And I don't mean to disrespect JMU and Tulane. They play hard. They have good coaches. They are good programs. But the fact that someone who loves college football is watching Tom Cruise and Matt Damon all day on HBO or whatever the hell I was watching it on, I think that says something.
I think it does too. Okay, so you're not. Adam is in the minority. Sorry, Adam. But obviously, there's diehards out there that don't care who's playing, if it's a blowout. Yeah, that's actually one thing I'm curious. There's some people who don't want to watch that head-to-head where it's a very low-scoring game. That just turns them off completely. And there's some people who really love watching blowouts. They love seeing some other team get the crap beat out of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're interested, you can watch Alabama play New Mexico State and win 62-10, or you can watch Alabama play Texas and lose in Tuscaloosa, which was a very exciting game. And if I'm in the minority, I would invite people to call in and tell me why I'm wrong, because I don't really know many reasonable people who say I want to watch I want to watch Penn State play Villanova or Oregon play James Madison or Ole Miss play Tulane. I think they want to see Alabama play Oklahoma, and the ratings for Alabama and Oklahoma were over quadruple what the Tulane and JMU games were. So if I'm in the minority, well, you know what? Sometimes the minority has a point, and over time will become the majority. That's all I got to say.
I don't think you're a minority, Adam. I think that there's more people that are like you than, no offense, Adam Lemris, but there's less fans like that want to watch as much football, consume as much football as they possibly can. Yeah. So Nebraska Rascal here. Thank you guys for being here, my Husker friends. Why is this not coming on? There. He says, I watched Texas A&M Miami, then watched the 2 NFL games. So he just switched completely and went to the NFL. He's like, yeah, this is done.
Nebraska Rascal, I sincerely hope you watch the Bears and the Packers, because that was the game of the day.
The Bears won, right?
Bears won in overtime. They were down 16-6 with about 5 minutes left to go. Scored, recovered the onside kick, tied it, and then won in overtime. I got to give credit to USC alum Caleb Williams. Now, I didn't see that game because I was watching The Rainmaker.
Yeah, that's right. You were watching movies. How do you know this?
Yeah, and I turned on I looked on my phone. I saw Oregon's up 42 or 41-3. Then I see it's like 48-20. Then it's 51-34. So obviously Dan Lanning decided, I don't want my players to get hurt, so I'm going to put in the second or third stringers, and they made it look close. But the fact that people are doing other things instead of watching the college football playoff goes to your point. It's supposed to be about money, and yesterday was anything but that.
Mm-hmm. My buddy Pitt, he says that Matt Damon might just call in later. That would be fun.
I'm going to tell him. I'll tell you what I'm going to say if he calls in. I'm going to say, you have aged terribly. Okay?
You know what he has?
He looks like he's 90.
What the heck what happened? Some people do. I mean, some people don't age gracefully, and that's okay.
It's that ego of his, narcissism of that guy. He looks like he went from being from Good Will Hunting. Now he looks like Tom Hanks in Castaway when he was on that island for 4 years and had this big beard. Get lost, Matt Damon. All right, you remind me of someone who just let go a little too much.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care how powerful you are. It is what it is. I tell it like it is. And I didn't say I was a model, all right? But I am 50 years old, and I may not be.
You're barely 50, okay?
Barely 50. In dog years, I'm like 350.
Oh my gosh. Adam, welcome to the club. So you were born in 75, right?
December 8th, 1975. I'm a Catholic. And in Catholicism, that's the Feast of the Immaculate Conception.
Wow.
But unfortunately, I don't think it refers to me. So
hey, is this true?
Good grief, Adam! Don't say good grief. I tell like Matt Damon's 52. It is true. So he's 50. He's a great actor. I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and I'm just being kind of facetious. But boy, he did age pretty quickly.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Not that I care, but I saw him and I was like, gosh.
I mean,
he didn't look that way the last time I remember seeing him.
What is it with people like I don't know, Tom Hanks, Pat Sajak from the World War, Vanna White even. Yeah. These people never get old.
Part of it must be genetics, and part of it must be like the way that they live, right?
It's probably a combination of genetics, being extremely wealthy so they can afford whatever they want, and I don't know, just lifestyle. But on my 50th birthday, my mom called me and she's like, happy birthday. I want you to know I love you very much, but you're going down from here. I said, what a nasty thing to say, really. I mean, but I was surprised at how old Matt Damon got. But I'm also surprised at how old, and this is going to sound weird, but how older Nick Saban got. In the last 5 years, he has aged. And, the stress of these jobs, the toll that it takes on these college football coaches. I don't look like the guy from Porky's, okay? I don't know which guy you're referring to, but I don't look like him. Say something like, I don't know, maybe I look like Bill Murray from Meatballs or something, but not Porky's, for God's sake.
I don't even know. I don't remember that movie very well, but I do remember it being kind of a slapstick, right? Slapstick humor. Wasn't it in the 80s or 90s?
80s. Yeah, that was during the era of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's right. Adam, I had a birthday this year, a big one, just like you.
happy birthday, and you turn. Well, I apologize.
No, that's fine. I don't mind. I was freaking out just like you, thinking this can't happen. And then it did. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm still here. I didn't turn into dust.
I'm still here, but I got an email from the Social Security Administration, and I'm thinking, do you believe this crap? In 15 years, I'm going to be getting Social Security. I mean, and I see Erica Goldberg in the chat. She mentioned.
Hi, Erica.
Erica's
I'm
great.
so happy that she tunes in. Erica, please call in one of these days just to talk.
Yeah, Erica's great, and Erica, is an Iowa fan. We got to respect the Iowa Hawkeyes, but apart from Hayden Fry, Kirk Ferentz, we cannot forget to mention Deacon Hill, who transferred from Wisconsin and led the Badgers to victory in a couple of games before he transferred to Utah Tech. And Deacon Hill is the forgotten quarterback of Iowa that no one talks about anymore, but that always will be etched in my memory. So, Erica, I think you should pay respect to Deacon Hill instead of making fun of him. I think that's disrespectful.
So, okay, where were we? We've gone all over the place. I don't know. Deacon Hill, Matt Damon. Yeah. I'm kind of lost. Somebody in chat remind us, where were we?
I don't know where we are, but where shall we go? Okay, so my question for you is this. Alabama, Indiana. That is a very intriguing matchup.
I'm not intrigued.
No?
I hate to say it. I hate to say it out loud because I have so many nice Alabama fans, and I don't actually know any Indiana fans. I know this many Indiana fans.
Yeah, I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana for 4 years, from 2013 to 2017. One thing about these Indiana people, a very good bunch of people, they say what they mean. If they shake your hand, tell you they're going to do something, they do it. Winters are absolutely horrible in Indiana. As far as Bloomington goes, Indiana is the home of Bob Knight. That Bob Knight created a basketball dynasty there. But now Curt Cignetti has created a team that I think rightfully deserves #1 ranking, but I think is a bad matchup for Alabama because Alabama is going to be able to play man coverage against their receivers. Stephen Daly, one of their best pass rushers, will be out. I think they're going to pressure Mendoza. And I think Ty Simpson is a very smart quarterback who situationally could exploit that secondary. I think Alabama has a legitimate shot to upset the Hoosiers.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go with, I mean, if I would have heard myself saying this prior to the season starting, I would have been like, girl, you need to check yourself. But now, after the regular season's done, I can honestly say I don't think any team can beat Indiana. I think they out game plan every opponent. I think that is their strongest character for their team, is that overall the coaches have been together for 9 years, and they can out game plan anyone. They even did it with Erica's team. And that was funny because I don't know if you watched that game, Indiana versus Iowa.
Yep.
In the regular season. So at the end, when Kirk Ferentz kept calling timeouts and Curt Cignetti was on the other sideline, so mad, just angry. There was nothing they could do to, make him stop. And finally, they had to run back for a touchback. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Cignetti is an amazing coach, an angry man, but an amazing coach. I mean, if you look at Indiana, they probably have mostly 3 stars on their roster that they have developed so incredibly well. To be able to compete with Ohio State and defeat them was an incredible accomplishment. And look, I know Ohio State missed a chip shot field goal to tie it and probably sends it into overtime. But if you look at the entirety of the game, Indiana won that game in the trenches. Now, as far as Iowa goes, Iowa, I think, has a lot of nerve and really should be ashamed, because here's what Iowa does at Kinnick Stadium. Kinnick Stadium, very tough place to play. what they do is, okay, they play against a team like Oregon, and we think they have them beat, only to blow it at the last second. Same thing with Indiana. So you know what? I really respect and like Iowa, but these late game meltdowns unacceptable. If they had Deacon Hill, that would not have been the result. And Eric needs to acknowledge that.
Deacon Hill. Well, now that you're talking about quarterbacks, let's go ahead and just quickly talk about the elephant in the room. And that is, gosh, look at all this. These are all the transfer portal quarterbacks up to date. The whole page is already full of quarterbacks that are planning on entering the transfer portal on January 2nd.
Are any of them good?
Are any of them good? Okay, so I'll just name a couple of names. You tell me what you think. Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati.
I don't even know him.
Are you serious?
No, I don't follow Cincinnati.
Well, let me just tell you about him. He was the quarterback at Indiana, and then he transferred to Cincinnati 2 years ago. He actually is from Texas, and a lot of talk is going around that he might be transferring to Texas Tech. I think there were a lot of NFL scouts looking at him. He's a pretty good quarterback. Plus, he has great hair, kind of like you.
Oh, I do have great hair. Thank you.
You do. You have great hair.
I'm just kidding. I mean, well, it sounds like the guy's got talent. I'll tell you who I'm looking at is I'm looking at the quarterback from North Texas, who I think has a very bright future. And I hate to bring this up, but I do think
Drew Mestemaker.
Yeah, Mestemaker, I think, has a lot of potential. And I think that, Aiden Childs is kind of a wild card. He's at Michigan State.
Yep.
Dylan Raiola is another wild card for me because I'm not sure how to evaluate him. On the one hand, he has a great arm and he has the talent, but I'm not sure if what his problem is his development, or it's like he's got the tools, but he doesn't have the toolbox, if I can make that analogy. And there's something that he has the potential for greatness, but I don't know if he's like a Carson Beck or if he'll turn into something greater. So I think the jury's out on Dylan Raiola. Which, Minnie, since you're a Nebraska fan, you know more about this than I do. What do you think?
Well, I think that I can't even believe I'm voicing my true opinion out loud, like for other people to hear. This is not okay. This is not for my Nebraska friends. So cover your ears, okay? I think that he went to a team that sucked, and they brought him down to their level. I think Nebraska wasn't ready for a Dylan Raiola at the time. I think we are getting ready. I think it takes a while to rebuild a program when it was in such shambles as we were. So he should have left a while ago.
Nebraska will be back. Nebraska is a historically great program. They will be back. They're built on physicality. They will get better. Now, as far as Raiola goes, hey, Dylan, if you're listening, take some good advice from a 50-year-old who watched the Rainmaker in the Firm yesterday. Go to Oregon.
Yeah, that's where you should go. We're going to welcome Erica.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Erica.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good. So since you guys were talking about Raiola, well, actually, since Adam first started talking about Iowa, that's why initially I was like, you know what, I'm going to call in. And I heard you saying Minnie Erica should call in. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. But as far as Raiola is concerned, yeah, I feel like I didn't watch a lot of Nebraska football this past year, but I feel like the O-line wasn't good enough for what he wanted to do. Like, he would be back there and he just, I don't know what happened, but sometimes he was there for a while and he still couldn't do anything. And then also he got sacked like 9 times against Minnesota. I mean, my God. Like, was there just no offensive line at
That was
Nebraska?
bad.
And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not,
No, you're right.
I'm curious. Like, is it
No.
true that their O-line is not good?
Erica, I mean, girl, I would tell you, and I meant it. We sucked. We were
I heard
not
that
good.
part. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were not good all around. I mean, we have players here and there, but nothing came together like it should have.
Yeah,
We
that's the problem. Yeah.
Since the end of the regular season, we've had, let's say, our defensive coordinator fired, our offensive
Yeah.
line coach fired, our defensive line coach fired, and we've already replaced 2 of those coaches. So it's just it's work getting the right coaches in the right places. It takes a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I think too, having a lot of players, or at least a handful, hit the portal already from Nebraska.
Yeah.
So that makes it harder again, because
yeah.
you need to have
Yeah.
not only the right coaching staff, but you need to have the right pieces. And like you said, this year wasn't clearly it. And hopefully, of course, the Iowa fan is not saying this, but hopefully for your sake, at least, Minnie, and the rest of Nebraska fans,
Thank you.
You guys can at least get,
We get pity.
I don't know, the right
if we
people.
get nothing else, we get pity.
Well, I'm not saying that to give you a hard time. I'm being
No, it's
genuine,
fine.
like genuinely, hopefully, like, because, like besides being an Iowa fan, I also think the Big Ten needs to be represented well. And I think we look better when other people in the conference look great, besides the top people, like the people who are in the middle of the conference, like Iowa and like Nebraska could be. I think we need to look good too, because that makes the whole conference look better. And then we can stop hearing from those SEC homers like DeReal, who just think they're heads and bounds against, over us. And that's not necessarily true anymore either.
Yeah.
Well, Nebraska's offensive line was the problem in my view this year. And Raiola was under constant duress. And look, how good can a quarterback be when you're under that kind of pressure? You see Ty Simpson this year, in the last half of the season, he was struggling for the same reason. So, but I think Nebraska will get it fixed. They have a good coach. Now, as far as Iowa goes, I feel like Iowa was very good this year and could have made the playoff. I mean, those losses to Indiana and Oregon were so close. And if Iowa returns a substantial amount of its players, I think Iowa is going to be formidable. But Erica, one thing that I have not heard from you in the maybe year or so that I've known you is I have still not heard an apology for the for the way that Iowa treated Deacon Hill. Because I'm still broken up about it. They forced him to Utah Tech. And,
they didn't put a gun to his head. What are you talking about? He chose to enter the transfer portal.
Yes, I'm being sarcastic, as I hope it's obvious to everyone. I mean, but, poor Deacon Hill, he had no business being a quarterback at Iowa. But I think Iowa is a team that people aren't talking enough about, because Iowa shut down that offense that you saw last night against James Madison. Iowa completely shut them down. And Iowa shut down Indiana, okay?
Yep.
So Iowa, I think, is a team to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is we've still got that bad reputation from good old Brian. That's a big part of the problem. That's why people don't fear us. It's not a problem with defense or special teams. It's an offense problem. And now the problem is getting solved and people aren't paying attention. So I think we might surprise a lot of people yet before Kirk retires.
I agree. Watch out for Iowa.
Yeah, and I'm excited because we're doing well with recruiting. We just had a commitment from Cooper DeJean's brother tonight. So that's kind of exciting. He's going to be a tight end for us.
Cooper DeJean is part of one of the most infamous plays in recent history at Iowa. He caught the ball and did not make the fair catch signal. Iowa should have.
Oh, we have to rehash this again.
I apologize. But so was Gronowski done, or is he coming back?
Yeah, no, he doesn't have any more eligibility.
Oh,
he's out, I think. It's unfortunate, because if we had a second year with him, I really think we would have gone really far. But yeah, no, he's out of eligibility.
They seem to be an issue at Iowa.
Well, that's under Brian. They were definitely an issue, but now we have a real offensive coordinator, which is why you're seeing improvement from them. And he's actually a quarterback guy. He was a quarterback in college, and he's coached quarterbacks. He's, an experienced offensive coordinator with the play calling. So I think he's a great person to have on our coaching staff. So I think slowly but surely you're going to see that change. And now that we have all of his guys that he's recruited on there, on the Iowa team, I think it might be better. So I'm excited to see what he does now that he's got his guys.
Erica, for us Rutgers fans, Rutgers, what we had been saying all offseason was Rutgers is going to start the year off 3-0, and then the game that's going to determine the direction of their season is going to be the Iowa game. So, fourth game of the season, the stadium is packed. It's electric. We're thinking if we could just beat Iowa. What do? We kick the ball off the first play of the game, and they return it 100 yards for a touchdown. Get lost, Rutgers. Forget it. Terrible.
Yeah, well, that's what our special teams does, especially when you have someone like Caden Weegan on there, returning punts and kicks and all that. So he's the best returner in the country.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I have to keep the show to an hour tonight. And we have one more person to add, Erica. So unless you had something else you wanted to say.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
I just wanted to come and say hi because
I'm so glad you did.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Thank you. Enjoy the holidays, guys, and Happy New Year.
You too.
Happy New Year to you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Good luck, Iowa.
Thank you.
All right, real quick, we have a couple of super chats as well. I forgot about these. Thank you for the reminder in chat. Michigander gave us $5. Thank you. And he says, Michigan football is doomed. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. The regions are a joke. Whittingham is a good coach. Not great. Buckeyes enjoy another decade-long streak. Did they get Kyle Whittingham for sure? I haven't heard that.
I don't know if they got Whittingham. I know Dillingham signed an extension with Arizona State.
Yes, he did. I think Kyle Whittingham is probably, if you can win at Utah, imagine what you can do with the resources at Michigan. I think you guys got a good coach if that's what happened. Well, otherwise, he's a great option.
I'm going to say something controversial, but this is the truth. Michigan needs to stop policing personal relationships. What are they going to be doing next? Arranging marriages for their coaches? Sharon Moore found love, and then they blew the whole thing up.
Adam, that's not how you feel. And then,
yes, joking for those who are watching.
I know.
Joking.
We also got Michigander has been a member for 2 months, and he says the Michigan program is a disaster. Most of the program will hit the portal. They will if they don't get a head coach, a good one.
Brian Kelly.
Brian, no way.
I would get Brian Kelly. He's angry, he's mean, but he wins.
No.
All right. Maybe
no, that's a bad option. They need to clean up their image. They really do.
They do.
I just saw another scandal open up today. One of my buddies, Greg, sent it to me. He goes, "Are you going to talk about this tonight?" Ex-Michigan coach Matt Weiss shown on security footage at time of hacking attempts, feds say. There's just one scandal after the next with Michigan. They need to clean up the image so that they can just concentrate on football.
Yeah, I do feel, this may sound crazy, but I do feel for Sharon Moore and hope he gets his life on track. But his judgment was horrible. I just terrible for the program. Terrible.
Well, we have a Michigan fan, it looks like. Burks is with us.
Hey, what's up, Adam? Long time no see, Minnie.
Burks,
how you guys doing?
Ooh, good.
Adam, the fact that you said Brian Kelly is honestly, dude, if Brian Kelly becomes the Michigan football head coach, I would probably be done supporting Michigan football, man. Like that hire is that shows that Michigan has zero integrity at this point.
Why?
He killed a kid, bro, at Notre Dame. Come on, dude.
Whoa. So You said he killed the kid at Notre Dame. Are you talking? Okay, just explain to me why my suggestion is so wrong.
Dude, he's literally a monster, okay? He has no loyalty, Brian Kelly. He, in LSU, first of all, when he was at Cincinnati, he dipped for Notre Dame. He did it with same with LSU. He dipped for yeah, he went to LSU, right, when he was at Notre Dame. And then the bullcrap part is that, that LSU player who was like dying or was in the hospital didn't contact him, didn't care, he doesn't care about his players, none of that crap, dude. We don't need that at Michigan, man. We cannot have a guy like Brian Kelly. I'm letting you know right now. We'd be a laughing stock.
Okay.
Okay. We would,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
and we can't be a laughing stock anymore. I'm sorry. You don't understand how down I am these past like weeks, couple days, man. It's like a dumpster fire. The Michigan football program's like a dumpster fire right now. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I feel for you guys. I really do. I mean, coming from where you were to here, it just sucks. I can say that because I'm a Nebraska fan. So
Well, Burks. I understand right now Michigan fans are probably despondent, but Michigan is going to be fine. Michigan is Michigan. They are an elite program.
You sure about that? I don't know, man. If our Regents and AD are still there, I don't have any hope, to tell you the truth. I truly don't. They're just corrupted at this point, man. And yes, you could say we won a national championship with them, but those are the people. They're not the reason why. I'll just say that, man. They're not.
Okay, so you have a good point, and I don't know the inner workings of Michigan, so maybe I'm sure you're right, and it's a challenging time for Michigan, but Michigan is an elite institution, academically, athletically. They will be back, and what I would say to you is that the problems, of course, what Sharon Moore did was unimaginable and horrible judgment, but I think the problems in the football program are deeper and go back to Jim Harbaugh and some of the things that went on there. But I do believe Michigan is such an elite program and an elite institution that they will be okay.
I appreciate it, dude, but to tell you the truth, man, I don't know what the future is gonna be like. Like unless we get like a good coach and we can clean the house and fire Ward and the Regents will go eventually as well. Like, and you know what I don't understand is this NIL stuff. Like, with Michigan, man, it's like all the time. This is always like on social media. It's like, oh, Michigan has all the money. If we had all the money, we'd have the #1 recruiting class. We didn't even get top 10 recruiting class. We are like number 11th. So I don't understand. I feel like these NIL with this exaggeration of they have schools say they have all the money. It's all bull crap at the end of the day.
Keep in mind, your head coach wasn't exactly focused on recruits. He was focused on other things at the time. I mean, it takes time. I can say this. I mean, I was laughing before, but being a Nebraska fan, I've been through it all. It takes time. And I know you don't have time. You want it now. You want it tomorrow.
Of course.
It just is it's gonna work itself out. I think my buddy Pitt even said that. He said, hang in there, it'll work itself out. Because
I feel bad for you Nebraska fans, honestly. Like, you guys are so positive, dude. Like, I want you guys to be successful, man. Like, you guys have like the best fan base, the nicest fan base, the most loyal fan base. No, you guys do. Every Nebraska fan I've met, like, I live in the Chicago area, man. I've met so many Nebraska fans, and they're all great people, down to earth, compared to other fan bases. And, it just sucks. And I think the reason why Nebraska just does not have the success is because I feel because of the school, the football I feel like the NIL's not, is it true when I'm saying the NIL's not that big and no one wants to play like there? Is that kind of it? Or is there many other issues of Nebraska?
Oh gosh, there's so many other issues. Maybe one day we'll do a whole another show on the rise and fall of great football teams. Because boy, for Nebraska, I could write. There's books written on it practically.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. Even Matt Rule, our head coach, at Big Ten Media Days, which I was at. Thank you very much. He said that Nebraska, when he took the job, now 3 years ago,
Yeah.
It was like taking or buying a fixer-upper that had been totally abandoned and in ruins, like a mansion on a hill that just had been totally good bones, but it hadn't been painted in years. The windows busted out, no doors. Like the way he described it, and he's like, nobody would want this job.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
right.
Burks,
I heard Kenny Minchie, transfer portal QB, who lost to CJ Carr for Notre Dame. He might be transferring to Nebraska. He could be good for you guys if you land him.
Oh, from Notre Dame.
Yes, from Notre Dame. They're in contact with him. So
Oh. Well, it'll be exciting.
Burks, one
Just
question
never
I
know.
have for you is
yeah.
when I think about Michigan football, just from an outsider's perspective, one of the concerns I have is the quarterback position. I was underwhelmed by Bryce Underwood. What are your thoughts?
Oh, you have every right to be underwhelmed. Sharon Moore did not. The issue is Sharon Moore and Chip Lindsey. He would he would try to call plays. He would like interfere with Chip Lindsey's play calling, and I feel that's a issue that Bryce Underwood made many mistakes. But also Bryce Underwood, he just did not like. He did not have the feel of a quarterback right now. Like he's a true freshman. So honestly, dude, there's talks that he might transfer if we get the wrong coaching hire. He doesn't like it. He might transfer in a bunch of other guys, dude. Like we don't even know. We're in complete crisis mode, dude, to the point where like no one knows anything right now, like, and apparently we're supposed to get our coach Saturday, Sunday. That did not happen. We're not getting a coach until probably like January 1st, I would say, before transfer portal, and I've heard Michigan is still waiting on the board. This is some reports saying that they are still waiting on him if they lose the playoffs, but we'll see, man. Underwood could transfer or he could get better in year two. We'll really see. That's really the only options, but the quarterback position was not that great. I agree.
Well, I think you guys will be fine. And Michigan, like I said,
Mhm.
Michigan's an elite institution and program. It may be tough going for a little while, but Michigan will still be Michigan. So I think good days are ahead for Michigan, and I said for Nebraska.
I just want to say I don't wish this on anyone's program. What the hell happened with Michigan? Not even Ohio State, because I don't like Ohio State, MSU. I really always want them to fail, but like this whole Sharon Moore stuff, man, and this clown management. It's like complete clown management from who ran the football program in the athletic department. Complete clowns, man. Like really clown. Like we won the clown management of the year award. Literally, we
Hey,
do.
you're
I'm
good at
sorry.
listening.
Like you can't tell me like they were covering this stuff up, man. I've heard. This is what I've heard, but we'll see, man. But have a good evening, you guys.
Thank you.
And have Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas is the best day of the year for me at least.
Merry
And
Christmas to you.
yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you guys and have a great night.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course, man. Appreciate it.
Take care. Okay. In about an hour. That's what I said. So we did it. Thank you so much, Adam, and callers and everyone in chat for being here. And join us next week
Thanks,
as we are back. Have a good week, everyone. Merry Christmas. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Merry Christmas.